afternoon. Welcome to this edition of the 401 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. Today is Monday, October 24th, 2016. Tune in to the 401 Talk Zone radio show every Saturday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. We had a good show on Saturday. We talked about networking and how it's important to any business professional. If you missed the show, you can always go back to the links that I have under all of my videos under the 401 Talk Zone radio show. It's on my YouTube page and Twitter page. You can also find the 401 Talk Zone radio show on my Facebook page as well as my Twitter page as well. We're going to talk about certifying your business as a minority or disadvantage or veteran-owned business. You don't want to miss that show. So guest call-in number is 215-383-5785. Also, if you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 401 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube so I can continue giving you quality information for educational purposes from a professional and mature perspective. On this channel, I don't engage in emotional debates or controversial issues, nor do I participate in drama and or unnecessary bickering. So please be respectful and positive. And the reason why I don't engage in those controversial topics is because you have other channels that know how to do it better than I do. And that sector is very, I call it, segued with the number of good YouTubers who know how to present the topic. They know how to utilize their platform to give you the information on the controversial topics. Plus, you have too many emotional men and women, particularly in the black sector of YouTube. So what I do, I utilize my channel for giving everybody education because knowledge is powerful. And what I try to do, I do the research and I deliver my message that you will not get in the mainstream media. This is why I do politics, union issues, business. This is why we're called the 401 Talk Zone radio show, because we are providing information. Also, on this topic, if you have a business or any topic that you would like for me to discuss on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, please email me at lej6521@gmail.com. Please feel free to comment. Make sure your comments are pithy. No bloviating if you wish to opine. Now, on to this afternoon's topic. I'm just going to give you an update on a video I did yesterday, and it talked about the faculty strike at the 14 Pennsylvania state colleges and universities. So going through all of my information that I reviewed yesterday, I came across a New York Times article, the Washington Post article. These are both liberal newspapers. However, through the information I got through those two sources, found out that the strike had ended with a tentative agreement. Now, what's included with this agreement? Of course, raises and measures to save on the rising healthcare premiums. Under the agreement, the union would not get raises as high as those other unions, and we're talking about AFSCME, because the union that represents the faculty is totally different than the one that represents state workers. Like I was a member of AFSCME, Local 2455, under District Council 13. And, of course, AFSCME, they've already settled their contracts. And the reason why I brought this issue up, because Pennsylvania has always had problems with budgets, particularly when you have a Democratic governor and a Republican House and Senate. Everything gets stalled. The same issues happened when Governor Rendell was in power in the state of Pennsylvania. I can remember when the fiscal year ended, and it always ends on June 30th. We were holding our breath for when our next payday was coming. And that's what you have here in the state of Pennsylvania. Now, as far as details on the raises, well, they're not publicly available at this time because they had not been provided to any union members. So the raises have been implemented. We don't know how much. Also, I brought this up yesterday. And one of the main reasons why they fought the issue, not just raises in healthcare costs, because their main issue was the quality of higher education, which included fighting efforts to increase the number of adjunct professors. So what they're doing in place of that issue of adjunct professors, they want to allow graduate students who have 18 credits or more earned in their program to teach classes. Now, I'm against that because, first of all, you have a graduate student, particularly they've been in academia, depending on where they are in their graduate courses, haven't been in the real world. Adjunct professors save a lot of money. I'm going to tell you what else saves money. Want to alleviate a lot of professors. More online courses. See, what we have is technology. Use systems like Blackboard, Moodle. You eliminate a lot of commuting fees, parking fees, health fees if you put more of the classes online. Now, of course, there's some courses you can't put online, particularly the laboratory intensive courses, particularly if you're in computer science, hospitality management, and engineering. But you should only utilize the school for laboratory courses. Basically, an online course is not taught by a professor, it's facilitated by a professor. And I like online courses a lot better, particularly if you are my age. I'm 51 years old. I don't want to sit in class with a number of younger individuals who haven't experienced the real world. Now, can I teach the younger students about the real world? I can, but they have to be willing to listen. I mean, I take a class now at Purdue, and the majority of my classmates are younger individuals, and they have no clue on how the tax system works because they weren't taught. Have no clue about economics, business, but they're taking business classes. But one thing that the younger students understand, and I learn from them as well, is how to utilize the technology. So, again, let's be objective, fair, and balanced. I don't like sitting in courses with younger students, but then again, if they have knowledge to provide me, I can get along with utilizing their knowledge because technology is also important. Moving on. Utilizing this contract. The contract is going to be retroactive. It was supposed to begin last year on the 1st of July 2016. So it's going all the way back to 2015. This new contract ends on the 30th of 2018. So is it a fair deal? Yes, unions can work everything out, but it also depends on what the raises are. Now, basically, a number of unions who strike, and I did a video on unions, most of the union members are getting wages at market rate, which is fair. But the bottom line with any academia, it comes out of a state budget that operates every year. And also what comes out of that state budget are your other government services, transportation, welfare. But the education sector, it swallows up a lot of the budget. This is why a number of the taxpayers have problems. I know in Pennsylvania, a number of your school systems or your school districts sponsor all the community colleges. This is why when you go to a community college and it's not in your county, you pay an out-of-county. Well, it's not that way in the state of Virginia or here in Indiana. Now, Indiana has a great system, Ivy Tech, and they also have a lot of adjunct professors. I just believe it's cheaper to have adjunct professors because then you don't have to pay their health care. They're not unionized. To me, too many of these professors make a lot of money. Now, you might have some who make $45,000, $46,000 a year. Okay. You have to look at the cost of living. In some areas in Pennsylvania, particularly in Erie or Sharon, Pennsylvania, Lock Haven, the cost of living is much lower. Now, when you get to the Philadelphia and the Allentown side, it rises tremendously, particularly in Philadelphia. Harrisburg is the capital. That's where all the money comes from. But who generates the most money in the state? It's usually your cities, particularly Pittsburgh, Reading, Allentown, Philadelphia, and then you have Erie, and then some of the smaller cities like York and Lancaster. But education is already climbing higher and higher. And I'm going to talk about Indiana. At least Mitch Daniels, he hasn't raised tuition. Some individuals aren't happy about that. But the best solution to get rid of any strikes or unions, and I knew the union was going to do this to avoid adjunct professors. The adjunct professors are very good. I think for the most part, you need to get rid of brick and mortar schools altogether because you can take all of your general education classes online. You have to be motivated to work with online classes because the good thing about online classes, you teach yourself. You can always go back and reference that book you read. Certainly, you pay for the class. You don't have to pay a lot of these obnoxious fees. You don't have to pay the professor's salaries. You don't have to worry about research. You do the research yourself. This is why technology is important. And if you utilize it correctly, you're going to benefit. A number of these professors have been riding high on the hog since they've gotten out of school because a number of them get saturated degrees, particularly in social science or English or history, because utilizing those skills. Now, if you have a minor with a liberal arts degree, it can work for you. Now, that minor can be in accounting, management information systems. It can help that degree. But some of the professors who have these doctorates in so-called ethnic studies, gender studies, they want to remain on that government payroll because it's comfortable. See, in the real world, you have to make real-world decisions. When you work for the government, a number of individuals are very parasitic. They live off the taxpayers. But now, let me be fair and balanced. Of course, when you do work for the government as well, you're also a taxpayer. But my plan is utilize the adjunct professors. Utilize term limits as well for some of your presidents. I believe they might have term limits for some of your presidents and chancellors. So you have a lot of the education personnel, your administrators, making a lot of money. Not saying they don't do any work because you have to make decisions at the top. However, when you have faculty members who are making well over $100,000 a year, there's no reason why they need to go on strike because you hurt the students in the long run. and what's going on with the cost of college, it makes it impossible for students to get a good education. And as faculty members, you should be showing more leadership. If you work in the real world, you'll find out how tough it is. So I'm glad that the strike has ended. Unions and municipalities can work together, but you have to be able to compromise. And just like a business, when you build relationships, you can get a pretty good result. On that note, that's my commentary for this edition of the 401 Talk Zone Radio Show. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones, and remember, please be respectful and gentle to each other. Have a wonderful and blessed afternoon.